Oh, balls. Good morning, you motherfucking sunshines. Alright, mofos, good morning. My chances of finding animals now after that morning greeting are slim to none, but that's okay. Still beautiful out. Yes, it's a little different than last time we talked. Last week it was snowing and sunny. I woke up this morning and fucking this. It is almost May here in Colorado. Winter ain't over yet apparently. At least it's not cold. I don't even need a jacket today, but it is beautiful and we're gonna enjoy the day regardless. I'm telling you, man, this whole working for the weekend bullshit is getting really fucking old. 2 days is not enough to spend in the woods. Anyway, this is a continuation of last week's Q&A. I went on Instagram, asked for questions you might have had, and there's about 50 of them. We did about 25 last week, so we'll finish off the rest today. That way I can wrap this up and go photograph some critters in Rocky Mountain National Park, man. Let's get to the questions. Alright, first question is from CB Farrar. How are you enjoying your stay in Colorado? Likes, dislikes? Well, I think we covered the dislikes already. Winter is fucking here and it's almost May. I do enjoy having Rocky Mountain National Park right in my backyard and having gotten into wildlife photography. And I'm sure that you fuckers that have been following me on Instagram for quite some time are probably sick of me posting photos of birds. But it's what I love doing now, and that's what it's just kept me sane here in Colorado through this long ass winter. So I do enjoy the wildlife. I enjoy the mountains and the scenery, obviously, in Rocky Mountain National Park. The winter has been long, and working here at the YMCA, it's just the crowds, man. I need to get out here on my days off at least to get away from fucking people, because I lose my shit around crowds, man. Next question is from Dirt Ribbon. Nice name. What is your job up there in Colorado? Well, YMCA, speaking of which. Yeah, when I was looking to get out of Georgia and get back out west, I went on a website. A lot of people that find seasonal work go on this website. If you're looking for seasonal work, go on coolworks.com on the interstate, and they list a whole bunch of seasonal work all over the country. So I started, looking at that website and found the YMCA right here by the park. I thought it'd be a good, change of pace. A lot of people thought I found Jesus coming to work here. That is no, that will never happen. But being out here in the mountains, man, that's my church, and that's why I wanted to come here. The work sucks. I'm actually a janitor. When I was in Scotland, I was trying to wrap up this job here, and they offered me buildings and grounds because I was a groundskeeper in high school. I figured that'd be a good job. Well, I couldn't get a hold of this chick when I was in Scotland. The back and forth thing took forever. By the time I actually got a hold of her and I got to Glasgow, they had filled that position. All that was left was housekeeping up here. I said, fuck it, just give me housekeeping. So the first couple weeks I was here, I was cleaning cabins and shit. And then the guy who was the janitor moved over to another department. They asked me to go over there. Basically, I just clean shitters and I take out the trash and clean like common areas, vacuuming windows and shit like that. It's real mindless bullshit work, but I've always said this, I don't give a fuck what I do in the off season. Whatever gets me back on trail, that's what I'll fucking do. And at least I have this backdrop behind me to enjoy my days off. So yes, the work sucks, but I think any fucking job would suck unless I'm working for National Geographic at this point. So I just grit my teeth, get through it, and then get my ass back out on trail. All right, moving right along. This question is from Alex Lycan. Biggest backpacking pet peeve? Ooh, good question. I've got a lot of them. I'd say maybe one of the biggest is slow walkers, man. And I notice this even when I'm not on trail. When I'm long distance hiking, and I've mentioned this in my videos before, when I hike on a through hike, I hike pretty damn fast. I'm like 3.5 miles an hour. The reason I've developed that kind of hiking style is because I film so much and I stop so often to set up the camera and walk past it and rant to the camera and all this shit. That takes up a large portion of my day. So the moments that I am actually hiking, I hike pretty damn fast to make up for that. And when I come across, and I found this a lot on the Appalachian Trail especially, because it's just a fucking single track and you can't get around people because you're in the green tunnel. And a lot of people, wear earbuds these days and they got their music blaring, they can't hear you coming behind them. And then if they're walking slow, I can't fucking get around. I mean, the thing I've always done, a lot of people do, is you start banging your trekking poles together or banging them on rocks as you're walking. to give him a signal that you're coming behind him and you want to pass. Well, the fucker's got his earbuds going, he can't hear shit. For one, I hope he gets bitten by a fucking rattlesnake because he can't hear it. Second of all, get the fuck out of my way because I want to pass you. Okay, that's probably my biggest pet peeve. Another big one is when you know me, I love to camp by myself. I need the solitude, especially at night. And when I'm in like a campground, not campground, but a campsite that's pretty fucking remote, it's obvious that I was deliberate in getting in this spot to be by myself, and some asshole comes up late at night and just sets a shit right up next to you. I fucking hate that. Go find another goddamn spot, man. All right, next question is from Christine's Frontier. Plans for future trails and travel. As I mentioned last video, if you haven't seen that one, I'm going to Sweden this August to go hike the Kungsleden. And then for future plans, I mentioned also I'd like to do a photography trip as well with my wildlife lens to go some exotic location. You know, a YouTuber that I've been following for a couple years now, and really the guy who's responsible for me getting into wildlife photography is Morten Hilmer up in, he's in Norway, I want to say, or no, Denmark. Ex-military guy. He was a dog sled. He was on a dog sled team for the military. He's the one that got me into wildlife photography. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, go check it out. But he did this trip. He's gone a couple times up to Svalbard. It's the farthest north you can fly on a commercial airline, I guess, supposedly. But he goes and he went and photographed the musk oxen. I loved that video, and that would be something that would be a bucket list type trip for me. But I want to do a photo trip for sure, just to go with my wildlife lens and photograph some exotic animals. Let's see here. Next question is Keith Wellman, heading east for trail days this year. I think I was already asked that in the last video. Nope, I won't make it this year. My plans are going to Sweden this year, and that's about it. Cannon Fodder 71, are you former military? I get that question a lot. I get two questions a lot. Are you former military, and have you been in prison? No to both. I tried to join the military. This was after my drinking had taken hold of my life, and I was out of options pretty much, and I said, fuck it, I'll just join the military. I went to every fucking branch, and because of my alcohol problem, they all turned me away. The Marine Corps was going to take me, but there was a lot of red tape to go through. It was like I had to go get counseling and get all this paperwork cleared to make sure I wasn't a drunk still, and it was like a 2-year waiting period. By that point, I said, fuck it, you know, and just I gave up on it. But yeah, I tried to join the military. They didn't want me. And it's funny, I've talked to a lot of people that are, you know, veterans and whatnot. They said, if you're, especially the Marine Corps, if you're not a drunk going into the Marine Corps, you're drunk when you come out of the Marine Corps. So looking back, I don't know why they could have used me, I guess. Let's see, our next question is E4 Explorer, my buddy Beats. Beats was on our crew along with Snazzy and Rabbit, finishing the PCT in 19. Do you regret breaking into the guard shack on the PCT? I didn't do it, Snazzy did it. I was just an innocent bystander. Hell no, I don't regret breaking into that guard shack. Go back and watch that vlog if you haven't. You know, that last 60 miles from Harts Pass. So Harts Pass is like 60 miles to the Canadian border around the PCT. We had hiked through like a 3-day blizzard up to that point. All of our shit was wet. It was still freezing at night. More snow was dumping. We came up on Harts Pass. There's a guard ranger shack there. We broke into it. They had a wood burning stove. We were able to dry all our shit out, stay there for a day. And probably a big reason why we made it to the Canadian border, because we were able to dry our shit out, because at that point it would have become, you know, hypothermia risk. So no, hell no, I don't regret breaking into that. By the way, Beats got us on CNN. They were using footage from my video. CNN New York, I think it was, Beats. They were playing my YouTube videos on CNN New York. He was trying to get the ruling overturned because they fined us, I think it was $180 for breaking a $3 padlock, but it was bullshit. No, I do not regret that. I would do it again in a heartbeat. Underscore Faith and Heart underscore 1. Would you ever do the AT again? I think I mentioned this in the last video. Yeah, I would do it. Those plans are kind of been put on the back burner. It's going to be down the line because I got too many trails I want to do before I was to do the AT again. Faith and Heart 1 also asks, what has been the scariest moment to happen on trail? Ooh, good question. Man, I probably could have died a few times on trail looking back at it. The scariest moment was probably on the CDT in Colorado when I glissaded down that mountain about 300 feet. I don't know what it was. My hand is all scarred up and this tattoo is pretty much gone on my knuckles because I glissaded early in the morning. It was basically a straight ice chute, and I could not slow down no matter how much I dug my ice axe in. I was grinding my knuckles the whole time going down the mountain. The folks that were at the bottom of that mountain said I topped out at probably about 30 miles an hour. Shit was flying on my backpack. Raked up my knuckle on this hand pretty good. My knuckles on my right hand were just bleeding like a stuck pig. And I guess some chick, like a week after the fact, did the same thing I did. She broke both of her legs and had to be airlifted out of there. So I lucked out big time on that. That was probably the scariest moment looking back. At the time it was happening, my mind went fucking blank. I wasn't thinking clearly. You know, you hear like, oh man, what would I do if I was in this situation or that situation? I would have handled it a little better. Well, that's proof that when you're in that situation, you don't think fucking clearly. And I could have, I knew how to self-arrest. I could have tried to turn around and stuck my ice axe in and try to self-arrest. I just wasn't thinking clearly. This is what happens when you're in a moment like that. Other things that have happened, I mean, passing out from heat exhaustion a couple times. That was scary as shit, especially the first time on the PCT in California. I'd never experienced that before. And yeah, I passed out at Hikertown, man. Coming out, luckily I was in a town, went into resupply, came back out of the store, and I just collapsed on the fucking pavement. It was scary. You know, wildlife encounters, rattlesnakes always scared the shit out of me. Some of those moose, that moose I saw up in Maine by the Kennebec River, that scared the shit out of me. That was the first time I've seen a big full-grown bull moose up close like that. He could have easily charged my ass and stompled me. There's been a few moments on trail, but we're still here, we're still alive, and we're still kicking. Last question from Faith and Heart 1. Well, what's your favorite book? My favorite book, I hate to be cliche and say A Walk in the Woods, but that's one of the first books that introduced me into thru hiking, so I guess that book's got a soft place in my heart. I've read it a few times. I like any books that are about history. I'm really into Native American history at the moment, reading a lot about that. Yeah, anything about history, the whole mountain man era, fur trapping, I love that, the history portion of it. So I guess I wouldn't have a particular book, but any topic that has to deal with American history, I absolutely love. One broken hiker, what kind of work are you doing in Colorado? Already mentioned that. Dead MC asks, how do you keep a steady income to be out there? I'm tired of the grind. Yeah, me too, man. There's a reason why I don't do this full time. It's because I don't make enough money doing it. I just find seasonal work in between time and then hike until the money runs out, pretty much. You know, I could make ends meet through YouTube revenue and selling prints and calendars, which I do. I could make ends meet to do it year round because I can live simply. I can live out of a fucking backpack. I don't need much. But it's my dog. I need to come home to my dog. So he's the one that actually keeps me grounded and coming back to work. I have no problem being homeless, living out of a fucking tent full time. But I need my dog to have a nice roof over his head and be comfortable and have a good life. So that's why I come back. But you know, you just got to simplify our life. I tell people all the time, well, I can't thru hike like you because I got a house, I got a mortgage, I got a wife and kids and a husband and kids and bullshit fucking excuses. I hate fucking hearing that shit. Well, do you need that 3 fucking car garage? Do you need that brand new fucking BMW? Do you need this? Do you need that? Do you need to go Starbucks every fucking day? No, you do not. Make ends meet. You don't have to do a 6-month-long hike. You can do a fucking 2-month-long hike. AZT, Scotland, I did it in a month. There's hikes you can do, okay? Stop giving me these bullshit answers why I can't do this. The only thing that will keep you off a fucking trail is if a disability, but even that's bullshit. I met people on the AT that are blind hiking. I met people with prosthetic legs. So I hear people's excuses all the fucking time. I think it's all horseshit. Get your ass out, make your life as simple as possible so you can get your ass out on this trail, because I guarantee your life will be a hell of a lot better once you leave all that bullshit behind. Cabin_fever2347, what's your next thru hike? Sweden, I already mentioned that. Carla Wig, the fuck? Why is your passion photography? Good question. Well, thru hiking and photography pretty much go hand in hand for me. I learned photography on the PCT. You know, towards the end of the AT, I started like, oh, this is really cool. So I just have a little point shoot camera. I'm like, well, this is cool. I can take photos like this. And I attempted to take a Milky Way shot, and man, it was garbage. But I'm like, holy shit, a camera can really do this. So on the PCT, I started getting serious about it. And you know, when you spend as much time in the woods as I do, you want to capture that because the memories are where it's at for me. Okay, I look back at my photos quite often, and I'm like, it brings me back to that moment. And I think that's my favorite thing about photography. Is it brings you back to the moment. I can remember, I can look at a photo from the AT or PCT or CDT, whatever, and I can remember exactly what I was fucking feeling or exactly what happened that day. It's amazing what a photo, you know, it's worth 1,000 words, they say. You know, that's why I love photography so much. And in wildlife, I haven't gotten into that last year. I just love being close to animals, man. I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm so sick of being around people that I relate more to animals. And when I get to see an animal in their natural environment and we kind of lock eyes, as bullshit hippie as that sounds, it's a special moment for me. And I love capturing wildlife in you know, candid type shots. The best shots I get, I think, are when the animal doesn't even see me, doesn't even know, and just walks away after I've taken a shot. That image you captured is in their environment, what they do on a daily basis. I absolutely love that. All right, moving right along. Beast Spoken Custom Auto. Any plans on a US-based thru hike? Miss your videos. US-based thru hike, I'm looking at, I would really like to do the PNT or the AZT. Trying to think. I almost went and hiked to Arkansas. I know that's not a big hiking destination you hear here on YouTube and Instagram and all that shit, but the Ozarks look fucking amazing. I looked into that before I did the Foothills Trail in South Carolina after the PCT. I looked into going to Arkansas, but yeah, the PNT is a big out on my list. I think that would be an epic trail to do. Brett _ Witzel, have you thought about being an artist in residence at one of the national parks? I briefly looked into that at one point. From my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, those residencies, they're only like 2 weeks long, I think. I guess it could open some doors to maybe a full-time position, but yeah, every time I looked online about that residency program, it was like 2 weeks. And then that was it. So working in a national park, I think it would be cool, but then I think about when I went through like Yellowstone on the CDT, man, how many fucking people were at Old Faithful. I about lost my shit. And yes, you can get out and off the beaten path, and especially in Glacier, but I don't think I could deal with the crowds, you know, 24 hours a day. I think I would go insane. A lot of those, I need my own rooming situation. Many of those national parks, I'm lucky I have my own room here at the Y, but a lot of those national parks, you're rooming with somebody. I couldn't fucking handle that. And I obviously my dog too. A lot of national parks won't allow your dog, even if you're an employee. So yeah, I don't think that would be an option for me, quite honestly. All right, we got about 8 more questions here. Carol and Bruce, where's your next thru hike? I already answered that. What the Maddie, would you like to thru hike the TA trail in New Zealand anytime in the future? Yeah, I think I mentioned that. The TA looks fucking badass. I would do that for sure. Jake, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Jahuka, obviously Swedish. When do you come to Sweden? Kungsleden. I fly out August 9th, I believe. I'll probably start around the 13th or 14th of August. Down in Hemavan is where I'm starting, going south to north. RWGP 98, how long will you be at the YMCA of the Rockies? Any plans for day hikes in Rocky Mountain National Park? Mike, so when you come here to the Y, you have to sign a contract. I think you can go from anywhere from 2 months up to 8 months. I originally signed a 7-month contract, and then when I got my plan set in stone to go to Sweden, I wasn't going to August, so that gives me, you know, my contract ended in May originally. I extended it to 8 months through June, but then I still have July. So what you can do here, you can become a volunteer. So basically you can work like 3.5 days a week, and then you still get room and board and food and all that shit. You still don't get paid a paycheck, which is fine by me as long as I get food, and I'll have 3 days off to go dick around Rocky Mountain National Park, and that's where I'll probably be getting a lot of day hiking in. But as of now, I just go out and do a loop around here and photograph animals. Sometimes I'll go in town and photograph around the lake, the eagles and the ospreys and the elk down there. But yeah, I'll be here till up until I leave for Sweden in August. Chase the Haggis, obviously Scottish. What's your workflow? Edit on iPad or laptop? If you guys want me to do a video on this, I suppose I could do that. My workflow when I'm on trail is I carry an iPad. Basically I film all day. When I get in my tent at night, I import all the footage, edit that day's video in my tent at night, and then I bank all those videos, completed videos, until I get to a town with Wi-Fi, and then I upload them all at once and then schedule them on YouTube throughout the week. That's how I do it when I'm on trail. Photography, I edit on an iPad as well through Lightroom Mobile. I use the desktop version when I'm not on trail. you know, it's nice doing that, especially with wildlife and stuff. I can use Photoshop and things like that. I'm not an expert on Photoshop by any means, but I do use this from time to time, and I use the desktop version of Lightroom when I'm not on trail. But that's basically my workflow. But if you want me to do a video on that, I suppose I could do that in the future. What's your 1307 Indy asks, what's your favorite season to walk, and where's been your most surprising experience? My favorite season to walk is fall. I just love the weather, the colors, the forest is beautiful. I absolutely love the fall. By far my favorite time to hike. That's why I always go northbound, finishing up the north on these on the Triple Crown trails. Finishing up in all of the northern states is epic. September, October. That's why I do that. Where's been your most surprising experience? Southern California, I would say. Like, starting the PCT, what I had built up in my head, because I didn't do any research on the fucking PCT before I went out there. When I had the desert in my head, obviously when you hike the LA Aqueduct, you're in, like, you know, stereotypical desert landscape, but I thought all Southern California was like that in the PCT. It was very green and mountainous and absolutely beautiful, and the water was flowing when the year I was out there. Yeah, Southern California really surprised me. I thought it was nice. Next question is from H. Baxley. What mode do you usually shoot? Full manual, aperture, etc.? I shoot full manual. When I started out, I was doing some of the like aperture priority, shutter priority. I still shoot those from time to time for different scenarios, but I mainly shoot manual, especially with photography. I want to be able to, now that I understand my camera, it's all muscle memory, so I know how to manipulate the exposure triangle, ISO, shutter speed, and aperture to make my images look how they look. The only times I shoot in like shutter speed, shutter priority and aperture priority, for example, if I'm doing long exposure photography, shooting the Milky Way, moving water, clouds, that kind of thing, I'll shoot in shutter priority to bring it down to like half a second, 1 second to get those kind of shots. But yeah, mainly I just shoot full manual. I encourage anybody getting into photography, don't be scared of it. Shoot manual starting out. It's the only way you're going to learn your camera, and eventually become muscle memory for you, and that's how you learn how to photograph things. Last question, Black Fox 337, what was your favorite location on the trail? Damn, that's a hard question. I don't think I can answer that. Highlights for me, Glacier National Park and the CDT, Maine in September and October on the AT, PCT probably. I really enjoyed, I mean, it's easy to say the Sierra, and those are obviously drop dead gorgeous, but I really enjoyed Oregon, believe it or not. Around Crater Lake area, I thought that was fucking amazing. Mount Adams, you know, those areas were I really enjoyed. So probably my top three. There's so many other ones, but yeah, that's a tough question. All right, my coffee is cold. I did so much rambling I wasn't even able to finish that when it was still warm. Anywho, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for reaching out with the questions. I know I haven't been putting out videos this off season. I did a couple of photography videos. You can go watch me photograph coyotes and shit like that, but through hiking videos are what I like doing. So I'm not gonna put out bullshit gear videos. I fucking hate those videos. I hate when people recommend bullshit to me. Go out and hike, use the gear. That's how you learn how to fucking use backpacking gear, okay? So I'm not gonna put out some bullshit video. I wanna be excited about putting out videos, so I'll put out some more before I leave for Sweden, obviously, coming out and day hiking and shit like that. I'll get those out to you, but be patient. When I go to Sweden, I'll have the daily vlogs rock and rolling for you. All right, boys and girls, the clouds have burned off. Looks like the sun is shining behind me. I'm gonna get out Rocky Mountain National Park, try to find some critters, and we will holler at you fuckers next time.